Thank you for those who have joined us. We have Abisoye, we have Adebola. Thank you for joining us. Amen. Chidebere, Jide Idowu, Olayinka, Obie, Adebayo, Shino Gundare, Titilayo, David. You're all welcome. We appreciate you joining us on this call. We'll be starting right about now. It's 5 minutes past 6, and we don't want to start practicing African time in Canada, and so that we don't waste so much of the time of the people that have made it in here early. We're going to be starting right away. I will be introducing. Can you hear me? Help.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So we would like to have people put on their cameras so that we can see your faces. And if you are shy, no problem, no worries. Oh, no problem, like we say in Canada. So we're going to be going right ahead to start the session this evening, and I want to appreciate you once again for making it here. What's Canada Niger Business Hub is all about? CNB Hub for short is a group or platform where like minds meet, people that are interested in business in Canada. We meet together, we share information, and we help ourselves through the process of establishing businesses. And one of the pathways that we have created to help us is this Market Square Chat, a platform whereby we get to meet with people that have already established business in Canada, and they are able to interact with us, chat with us. Actually, it's not like a very formal meeting. We were having a chat to know, okay,
You are muted.
in this industry, how are you able to enter the industry? How are you able to, what are the registration? What are the criteria? How are you faring in this industry, in this business, really? And that's what this chat is all about. We are kind of hearing it from the horse's mouth, so that if you have interest in that kind of business, you'll be able to know the things to expect, so that we can manage our expectations. So if you probably thought, oh, this business is a very good one, and someone that is there is able to tell us actually how viable the business is, what are the challenges that you are going to probably face in the course of establishing a business, and what are the things that you are going to benefit from. It gives you, it's like learning from someone that is already established, right? And that is what this chat session is all about. So I'm going to, okay, so someone is asking for the link. Let me quickly post it. Last minute link sharing. That was why the person was calling, actually. I'll share it now and we can continue. Posted it in group separately. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I'll start by introducing our guest for this evening. We're going to be chatting with him. He's a business guru in the real estate industry, and he's going to be telling us a lot about that business in Canada. Like we always say, I believe that what we personally believe on the platform that we are on is that we need to look at the business way in Canada, because it seems like this 9 to 5 job or 8 hours to pay per 2 weeks might not be enough for what we intend to achieve in Canada. And so for us to be able to build wealth, we believe that we have to look the business way. And you've already seen, based on research, that it actually pays more in terms of even in the payments of tax, right? Like there are so many opportunities, like you don't need to pay so much tax. So those are the kind of things we're looking at. I'm going to be looking at this evening concerning the real estate business. And our guest for this evening is no one other than our Mr. Rotimi Fadipe. I'm going to be introducing him. He has 30 years robust professional experience in real estate, finance, accounting and tax administration, treasury and financial advisory services, audit and internal control, supply chain and project development and management. He trained as an accountant and has practiced tax and audit. He retired as an executive director, supply chain of a publicly quoted company in Nigeria before he relocated to Canada. He has acquired global professional executive trainings and exposed to international best practice in many countries of the world. He's a member of the Canadian Real Estate Association, Manitoba Real Estate Association, licensed practitioner with the Insurance Council of Manitoba. He currently practices as a realtor with Royal LePage and financial advisor with World Financial Group. Rotimi is also a coach, mentor, and public speaker available to guide and help individuals build progressive career and lasting wealth. He's a volunteer with Winnipeg Harvest Manitoba and the lead pastor for Maple Leaf Foursquare Gospel Church. He's married with 4 wonderful children. Please let's make welcome our guest for this evening. You can just put up your emojis just to welcome him, your clapping emojis reaction to say welcome to the platform. You're very welcome, sir. We appreciate having you in our midst. For those of us that in Winnipeg would have seen his posters, his billboards all over town as a realtor. So he's not someone doing the real estate business under the table. He's a professional in that field. And I think there's no other person at this time to be able to talk to us concerning what we need to know than him. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so I'm going to be starting by saying, even though I've introduced you, but I still want you to tell us 1 or 2 things about yourself that we probably do not know. So I'll say, can we meet you, sir?
Good evening, everybody. Just what you need to know about me is one of the things that I live on is I use the word keep moving. I never believed you have to stand still. There is one problem, you just find another way to move out. And that's me, just wanting to be on the move at any point in time. And this is all I want to challenge anybody who is prepared tonight, that don't limit yourself. You can just be whatever you desire to be, God helping you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That is an awesome way to start. What a word of encouragement we have from a father. So I'm going to go right into what we are all here for, the real estate business. And my first question would be, what was your motivation for going into this business? I know you retired in Nigeria as an executive director of a conglomerate, and you came to Canada, you relocated, and there are so many other occupations you could have gone into, could have, pivot into in Canada, right? But you chose real estate. And so I would ask, what is the motivation for going into real estate business in Canada?
Well, thank you very much. I will say when I was coming into Canada, I never planned to stay. I just wanted to come, have my family settled, and I will be coming back. But, God has his own plans. While in Nigeria, actually my first degree was in real estate, but I never used it to work. I was practicing a little bit of it on my own. I went into finance, to accounting, tax, and then, supply chain. But when I came in here, my first choice was to go into accounting. And I was working on that. And then I went through training for tax. I finished the tax. I got employment, and I saw the salary. I wasn't sure that's something that I want to be going 9 to 5. So I didn't take that job. I tried a job also in supply chain. And then all of the levels that I was looking for, I understand there's no vacancy there. And one of the directors actually told me that, look, if you want to start on this level, you want to practice, you need to move away from Winnipeg, because those levels I'm looking for, that he believed that's where I should start. There are no vacancy for such levels here in Winnipeg. And all of a sudden I said, well, I don't want to go into this 9 to 5 again. And then I was praying, and God led me to, I just went through the system, and I went to the real estate board, and like play, I took all their, requirements. And that's actually how I started. So before I went into real estate, I must tell you that I actually went also into Supply Chain Canada certification, and I finished that exam. So that, for me, if you need to know, is the toughest exam I have done in the world. Supply Chain Canada, I have also not used it to make money, but I believe I will use it to make money. And that's how I went into real estate. And eventually, there are 4 modules there. So I just found out that all of the courses in real estate certification were things that I had done in my previous, academic training, whether as an accountant, whether as an estate management student, and then whether as a tax person. So it looks like, oh, this is a way God prepared for me. So that's how I stumbled on it. And I went in for the exams. And here we are today.
Awesome. Awesome. I am so challenged or is it motivated that at this age you could actually decide to start on a path that you have never tread, like coming to Canada and you're ready to start by writing exam, fulfilling all requirements to enter a particular industry, having retired as an executive director. It is actually very amazing and it is actually very inspiring. Thank you for sharing that. And so my next question is, what were the regulatory requirements you needed to meet before starting the business in Canada? Because I know Canada is very stringent when it comes to certifications, regulatory requirements, and all that. So we just need you to walk us through the process in case of those of us that are here that want to know more about the business and what we needed to do. A lot of people are here with their pen and paper and they're taking notes.
Okay, that's very good. So I will explain a little bit so that you can understand there is a little difference in practicing real estate here from what we used to do in Nigeria. In Nigeria, what we'll call estate surveyor is what we call realtors here. Now, in Nigeria, you go to university, you finish, and then you come do the exam, and then you become an estate surveyor and valuer. You probably will be looking for employment with the GD titles of this world. I mean, those are the work style in Nigeria. Now, here in Canada, what you do is there are 4 modules. There are 4 modules to practice, to getting certification. And each of the modules, they are very relaxed now. Honestly, if you are very smart and you are passionate about it, you can complete all of those modules, under maybe a year. In fact, if you don't finish by 16 months, you will start all over again. So they allow you to finish those 4 modules within 16 months. And the beauty of it is the only condition is that you must finish 1 before you start 2. So nobody is stopping you if you want to finish the 2 within 3 months or within 4 months. So you can move in that level. So you will finish 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and the 4th module. There are examinations for the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd module. The 4th module is more of lectures, workshops, and what have you. Now, when you have finally passed, so the requirement is that you need to, now, unlike you being employed as an estate surveyor in Nigeria, I will say you now, who have now passed this certification in Canada, you are the one who will now engage brokerage. So you are the one who will employ brokerage. I'm just using that word advisedly. So what do? You want to meet with various brokerage. You want to get what do they have to offer you. And that's why, because there is independent contract with every individual. So they will also assess whether they would like to work with you. And if they are agreeable to working with you, more of the decision is from you to say, oh, I like this. So what are the conditions for you to review? unlike where we're coming from, as a realtor here, you actually pay your employer, and I use the word employer in quotes. We are actually not employed, but we are independent service providers. We are independent, we are contractors to them. So you actually sign an agreement, and that agreement will detail out what do they charge you on a monthly basis, what happens when you make a deal, because every transaction that we do, it's not for you, it is for the brokerage. So I am in any of the brokerage today, and I have a business from any of you. You are indeed not servicing, you are not relating with me as a company. I am relating with you as an agent of Royal LePage. And that's actually very heartwarming for customers and clients, because what it means is that if there is a problem in the course of the transaction, you have the very powerful brokerage, the Royal LePage, behind me. So you are not necessarily going to sue me. You cannot even sue, but you'll be suing a Royal LePage. And if it's something that you have a strong case, you can be too sure that the Royal LePage will not allow just one transaction to mess them up. So they are going to be very interested in making you happy, because again, when you go into make, report about me to the board, to the regulatory body, they are usually very, very strict. So that's how it goes in here. So after I have agreed on who I want to work with, I am not yet a realtor. I need to finally sign off with somebody who says, okay, we're going to engage you on the following terms. And the terms will be one of the following. How much will I be paying every month? If I have a deal, how much will I be paying? If I have referrals, if I have, what's it called? There is what we call franchise fee, because I'm using the whole platform of Royal LePage. There is a fee for it. So this is where it becomes very interesting. So you have weighed so many, and I can tell you the monthly cost can be anything from maybe 400 to like 1,500. If you are willing and you are very ambitious, it can be as much as 2,000 monthly. But I mean, you know that once you are not really in that mode, you will not go for the big ones, because there are other benefits therein. So there is the aspect of profit sharing that will also be there. So if I get a business, will I take 40%? Will I take 60%? Will I take 80%? So those are the reason why there are contracts. So once you sign that, and I assume that we don't need to go through all those details, because it's an individual. If you need interest on it on the personal level, I mean, we can share experience, because somebody will say, oh, I just don't want them to take so much from my commission. I want a 90-10, where I will take 90, they will take 10. There are other benefits you may not get. There are some people who say, I want a fixed amount. So they are not going to share from my commission, but I will just be paying this much. So once you sign that contract, you are also locked into it. You can get out, but there will be notice that you need to give in that area. Some brokerage do a lot of training. Some also do referrals. So all of these are what you will consider. I mean, at the time I joined, I will tell you that the first brokerage that I joined was not as expensive as the one that I am today. Even though this is the most expensive when I joined, I find it more profitable for me than where I was before. So would you rather look for a 10% of 1 million or go for 80% of 50,000? You know, that kind of a thing. So those are issues that you can look at. So having agreed with a body, so they sign you in, there are costs to it. So you will register, and then you will apply to Manitoba Security Commission. So they will evaluate, and when they come back to say you are agreed, you are approved, then you become a realtor, and you're working with one of the brokerage. So the brokerage now becomes like your employer, even though you are just on a relationship of independent service provider. So every other transaction you are doing now, you are doing it in the name of that, brokerage. So that's how it goes. So in terms of regulations, there are three major regulators, apart from the general one, tax and whatever. You have the Manitoba Security Commissions, you have the Canadian Real Estate Association, and then you also have Winnipeg, So all of these people are involved. You pay fee on a monthly basis, but they're also there to regulate the business, to protect clients, so that, what happens somewhere else that realtors can misbehave, it doesn't happen here. No realtor is entitled to, is approved to deal with you with any cash. They're not supposed to collect any money. They're not supposed to do anything. They are only an agent, to a brokerage. So those are the regulations you will go through. In terms of you want to, let me just show a slide so that you see. Okay, can I share? Do you allow me to share?
Let me give you the.
I'll just show so that it's just a slide so you can see the transition. Can I go now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Okay, I don't think. Okay, let me be. Okay, I've seen one now. Are you seeing it now? No.
Not yet.
Okay, I'm coming. So I share this now. Are you in now?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Okay. Are we there?
Yes, we're there.
So this first level, these are the stages for you. The first level is just you being sure you want to go for it. And what I always tell people is you need to prepare for it. And in preparing for it, it's not a cheap profession. It's not. It requires some money to be spent. It requires some money. So all the time you are doing this, you are weighing the options. You are saying, oh, is it a lady wants to go or a man? Do I have some cash in store? Do I have my spouse willing to take over the expenses for the duration? And I always will prepare somebody to say, close your mind to like 2 years. Somebody must be there to fund the home. And then if you have that, then it's a first level of you to say, oh, I want to go. Part of the self-assessment is for you to be sure that you are ready for it. There is a lot of, if you are not somebody who is very tolerant, if you are not somebody who is very patient, if you cannot take the sheets, it's not a job for you to go. Hello? If you are very emotional about people hurting your feeling, it's not something you want to go for. If you are also somebody that is like, oh, why did somebody do this to me after all I have done? It's not something you want to go for. Some experiences can be very painful, but the beautiful thing there is a lot of strength in networking there. You are meeting people, you are making people happy. Somebody just found out and say, oh, I love what you did for me. It gives you joy. But if you are not ready to take all of the, because it can be a lot of insult, actually. It can be a lot of embarrassment. And I would say that actually most businesses, if you want to make a success too, those needs to be something that you will already put into your pocket, so that when somebody is throwing it to you, you just know that you are not surprised, you are prepared for it. So that's the first level. So the second level is this registration, and then the exams, these are the levels of the exam. Like I said, there are 3. So when you go through this, you finish the first level, then the process of engagement is when I say you are interviewing brokerages. and you are making a decision, I like this, I like that. I mean, I interviewed like, I went to three, and I actually had to pray for this last one because it was not the cheapest that I am working with. And I can tell you, even the ones that I went to, they still call me today and say, please come and join us, because they make money from your own performance. You can imagine that I have all of the people on this platform in my brokerage, and they're all making like 100,000 every month. And I need to take 30% of it. So it means whatever they make, 30% comes to me. So it's in their interest too. But I must see that I'm benefiting before I get that. Some people don't even do so much, and yet some people like them. So after this process, you go into this licensing level. So when you are licensed, then you become a realtor. There are continuous examinations and review every day just to bring you to speed with current developments. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. In fact, what you said actually covered a lot of questions, because I remember someone sending in a question, and the question was, what would you need to do to maintain your license yearly? That is, in terms of fees, exams, and courses. And I think you just mentioned that you do exam from time to time. Do you want to elaborate more on that?
Okay, so the recertification is just being very contemporary with the world movement. For example, COVID that came as a big problem, I will tell you, it became a good icing on the cake for our business. Because in the past, you go to move to clients with raw documents to be signed when they want to make an offer. You go to take it to them. The wife is working in Bona Vista. The husband is working in maybe Maple Leaf. You will practically take this document to them to sign, whether there is rain, whether there is snow, and then you will practically go back if there are mistakes. All of these things, suddenly we started doing online signature. So there are training to all of these things. There will be training when government makes some changes. So, there were COVID protocols that we needed to observe. So a lot of these things also look at what is happening in the global world. If the world is changing in an area, we will also change. So again, they want us to be very, very alert to make our clients and customers very, very happy with us. So they are all there to upscale our knowledge, and to be sure that you actually know what you have practiced, because over time you can forget it. So if you don't do the pass mark, you will not progress. So, and if you don't have that license, you cannot practice the following year.
Oh,
it's not very expensive on an annual basis. I think it's under 250 or 200 every year, but you just must do it. But when you don't do it, there's a penalty that will make you pay far more than that.
oh. Okay. So we have another question here that says, can one do the business solely, or do one need to register as a broker with a bigger company? So what this means is that in Nigeria, I could just
so you cannot practice. You are not a realtor when you are not with a brokerage.
Oh.
You are not a realtor when you are, because the law does not recognize you as an individual. The law recognizes you working with a brokerage. So you can transit. And if, for example, you want to now become a broker, a broker is this one, a brokerage owner is now a broker. If you now want to do that, there's also exam for that. And once you finish, you have spent at least 2 years, you can take that big risk and say, I want to have my brokerage. But there are conditions to it as well. And so what I will advise is that people should just wait and learn their hands very well. You don't need to rush to want to become an owner, because as a brokerage owner, there's a lot of payments, even for fiduciary cover, insurance, all of the problem that comes from your realtors, you are going to bear it. So there will be heavy payment you are doing for insurance. There are statutory requirements. There are compliances that you need to engage people. You need to employ people. You need office. You need to be ready with investments in strong IT, because the whole world is our clients. As I'm here now, somebody can come back to me from any part of the world, because once there is an internet, then he can see this, provided those individuals are Canadians and they are approved to buy. So you can be a realtor if you are of age, minimum of 18 years, you are a resident here. There are approval for people who are not residents, who have working permit, but they will need to apply and their conditions will be evaluated on their merits. But once you are a resident, I mean, you are free to do it.
Okay, thank you, sir. So another question is it feasible to be a realtor as a side hustle, like a second job?
Okay, as a matter of fact, until 2 years ago, maybe 3 years, you cannot do anything with you being a realtor. It has to be just a realtor, but that rule was relaxed 3 years ago. So if I want to go and take a job today, I can take a job, and then I'm running this. Now, the snag is this. If you are on a 9 to 5 or just fixed time job or whatever, I can assure you that you can run after those two birds and you will lose both of it, because realtors are expected to be very diligent, very professional, and very accommodating. So if I'm dealing with you now, and all you can tell me with your husband is, look, sir, oh, Mr. Realtor, I don't have time to inspect the house unless you have time for 8 a.m. tomorrow or 9 a.m. tomorrow. So there will be a lot of problem. Or you want to go and inspect houses, you want to even make offer, and it is during the time you are at work. So what I will say to people who wants to practice it is, if this business pay you, you will drop that other job you are doing, actually, because you are not going to be able to combine it. You will just enjoy yourself. But if you have a wife, or let's use the word a spouse, who is very, very ready with you, and you have some money to say, let me take this first 2-3 years as a test case, you can run it. Today, some people are doing it, but again, you are not going to get the best of it, because a client who would like to go in the morning, and every time you are not able to do it, and his own shift is in the evening, he works in the evening, it means that person cannot serve you, or rather you cannot serve that person. So it's not like there is no rule to it, but you got to see whether your job can accommodate that.
So you have to weigh your options, really.
Exactly.
A lot of people are dropping questions in the chat, but before we go to those questions, I have just 2 questions more. And that would be, what has been your experience in the business? Do you think it is a very viable business to go into in Canada? And also, what are the challenges one can expect to encounter, and how were you able to mitigate those challenges?
Okay, I will start from the challenges. Let me say it. I will say one of the biggest challenges that you will be ready with, I spoke at the early part, is about trust. When I use that word, I will use it 200 times. You are dealing with a client. You are struggling with everything to make that individual happy. Believe me, that client, maybe it's a couple, maybe it's an individual, you will be surprised that they are speaking to another person. You'll be surprised they are speaking to 2-3 other person. Now, the law allows that we prevent that. But you see, there is a cultural part of it here that some of us, we don't want to. Because if I engage with you, and there are evidence that we're already working, and you move on to somebody conclude a deal, the law allows me to take it up, and the board will compel you to pay me what is the commission. But you see, I'm speaking here as an individual. I try as much as possible to use moral persuasion I don't use any legal issue because, again, I'm the president of Nigerian professionals here. When the story goes, you don't understand it. They say, oh, this person is taking somebody to. So, but the law provides for it. If you take an Oyibo person, they're going to be very strict on such areas. So one of the challenges is building trust. Somebody believing you can do it. A second challenge is about financing. If you want to run as a realtor, you need some working capital to start off. When you go into the business and money starts coming, of course, you will now make up that fund. But before it, there is a need for money because whether you sell or you don't sell, you are supposed to pay the brokerage on a monthly basis. So just take an average and say, oh, okay, I'm paying 400 or I'm paying 500. And I will give you, for my experience, for 1 year, I did not sell a single house.
Wow.
For 1 year, I did not sell. You also need to have a vehicle because you cannot be jumping on vehicle to somewhere. So all of those are expenses that you will be bearing. Again, the financing situation today, in terms of the prospective buyer, there are challenges because somebody thought, oh, it will be approved for 400, for 500. Suddenly, Bank of Canada increased rates. And the mortgage specialist say, no, this man cannot get more than 400. He cannot get more than 350. So there are issues there. Markets is also a challenge. But I like to let you also know that there are regulations. Sometimes when you come, and this is the experience we have with a number of our people, they say, oh, they want to buy a house that is not more than 1 year, that is not more than 3 years. Owo lobe, like they will say, na money. So, and I will say this to you, please don't make rule about the age. Go visit the house first. So one of the things I always say is the house you are living currently, do you know how old that house is? So, and I don't tell people to come and buy a house. I want people to come and buy a real estate investment. Unlike Nigeria, or where some of us had come from, you buy a house, practically you are living there. But here, the house you are buying is a potential cash bucket. So don't have an intention that you want to stay in that house for 50 years, for 20 years. Have an intention that you are buying something that will make money for you. So you don't necessarily need the very brand new house. You don't necessarily need, oh, the house of 3-4 years. I agree. There may be issues about maintenance when it gets so old, but that gets so old is very, very, subjective here. Houses 20, 25 or more can be as solid as any house that is built yesterday. So it's a choice actually. So I'm just saying those are the challenges that we face. Even when you have some very great opportunity, somebody will say, oh, no, this is the type I hear. Because they have had stories. They have had stories from people who are never realtors. They are lawyers, they are accountants, they are engineers, and they sell those stories to them. And then what I tell people is make your decision on your own. So trust your realtor. Trust that it is in his interest to make you happy because the job survives on referrals. So if I don't treat you well and with benefits of insight, you are seeing that, oh, I just make you make the wrong decision. You will not recommend somebody to me. So, but the recommendation I will give A is not the same thing I will give to B. I want to look at your situation. Somebody who just came in, that's not the person I want to be suggested to go and buy a house of 600. Somebody whose babies are still very young. You don't need a house of 4 bedroom, 3 bedroom. You don't need it. So I would be suggesting that, but again, the final decision lies in what the client says he wants.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for that response. Like I said, you have some questions that have been dropped to the
How do you make money as a realtor?
Yes.
This one you want me to tell them the secrets.
Yes, so that's what we're here for.
Okay, so let me tell you how we make money. So the beautiful thing here is that you are buying, the law has protected the buyer so much in this country. you are not going to pay any money to most of the professionals, including the realtor. You are not paying money, but the person that is selling the house, the person that is collecting the bulk money is the one that will pay my own brokerage, and will also pay the brokerage of the company that listed that property. So in every transaction, there are two brokerages. There is a listing brokerage, there is a selling brokerage. So the listing brokerage says, oh, I want to sell my house. You have brought it to our own company. Of course, you brought it through a realtor. So that is the person that will go through all the process of putting it in the public sphere. So my client sees that and he says, oh, I would like to buy this. It is from my own brokerage. So when the seller finally succeeds and there is an offer and an acceptance, in the contract that we are already, the listing agent is signing with the seller, there is already a percentage that says this will go to the listing brokerage, this will go to the selling brokerage. So realtors can be whether a selling or a listing at any point in time, depending on who your customer is. So if my customer wants to sell, then I'm going to be working from a listing agency relationship. If my customer wants to buy, I'm working from a buying, selling, agency relationship. So it is from that commission we like to use the word compensation, because when you use commission, everybody thinks it's a free money, but it's a compensation for services that you have rendered. And let me tell you for free, until you like a house, a realtor cannot compel you to buy any house. So I have taken people to as much as 20 houses. So all of those costs, some places where we came from, you have to be paying agent anytime you are going out. There is no fee, no realtor can ask for any money from you. So until that business succeeds, you are not making it. And I like to add this, that everybody involved is interested in you getting the house bought. Everybody involved is interested because there is no money for them as well. But, there are two ways now. Somebody wants to sell, somebody wants to buy. So when there is an agreement, then there is a shake of hand. Everybody is happy. That's how we make money. So when the check goes to our own brokerage, now based on the contract that individual has signed, your own payment will now be advanced to you. And trust me, like I said, every realtor in a particular brokerage, they do not have the same agreement. It is you will decide, this is the contract that I want to sign. And they are there. Some people decide, they say, I want to do fix. So whether they sell, they don't sell, they will be paid the same amount. Even if they make 2 million, the company cannot collect more than the fix they have said. Some people want to pay based on the income they make. So those are, you just sit down and make a choice what goes well for you. So another one say, can one practice work as a real? Okay, I've said it, you can practice part-time. There is, but you just look at your situation and know whether you can do it. How long does it take to do the licensing? Well, you are expected to complete the exams within 16 months. You are decided you can within 16 months. So when you say, what's your take on wholesaling? What does that mean, please? Somebody asked, what's your take on wholesaling?
You can unmute yourself and clarify the question.
Okay, yeah, sorry. So my question is, I know that I know about wholesaling, which is you like buying off a contract of a property and like being a middleman between a buyer and a seller, right? So I was just wondering, like, what are the advantages of being like a realtor over being like a wholesaler?
Well, what you call an wholesaler is you are an independent agency. Now, any property that is listed as in on the mark on the listing cannot work with an agent, independent agent like you're talking about. Now, you can do that agency if it is private sales. So this person has a house, he didn't bring it to the market. He's just telling somebody, I say, okay, can you help me get somebody to buy? So that's work. Now, for a buyer, for a seller, is never the best of choice. Because, you know, people who are a little bit scarcity mentality, they say, oh, how can I pay somebody with this money? Forgetting that the provision of the market listing that we do allows the whole world to see that property. So if you are dealing with just one agent, how many potential buyer can an agent get to want to now make an offer? But if it is on the listing, anywhere there is internet and somebody is listed for it, you will see that property and you can offer to buy it. And that is why you find that even though I have listed the property for 400, buyers can buy as much as 550 if there are many who wants to buy. So that type of a person that wanted to sell for 400 and is running from paying a fee that will be so insignificant compared with the profit that he has made, he will just lose out if he decides to say, oh, let me just look for one person to help me sell. Unless they are unique properties, the best of it is put it on the listing. But here is what I will say. If you have an individual who is interested and trusts you and say, oh, he wants to give you, you can make your money from it on an independent basis. But anyone that will be listed on the public, you know, our public listing platform, it must go through a registered and licensed realtor.
Thank you, sir.
So the costs, like I said, the cost of starting, you know, I believe the first exam will be like 1,000, maybe 2 or thereabouts. And then to finish the whole exam, you will need about maybe between 4 and 5,000. That's just the fee for the exams. And the beauty of it is the exam is self-study. You don't go for lecture again. It is self-study. So if any of you wants to do it, you run into any question you cannot answer, call me, I should still be able to address it. So there's no class for it here. In Toronto, they do some classes, but here is self-study. Now, after you have passed the exam and you now want to register with Manitoba Security Commission, there is also about $4,000 that you will pay. So there are some brokerage that will say, we will pay this money for you, but you have to work with us for 3 years. If you leave them 1 month before the end of 3 years, by the contract you sign, you are supposed to pay back that money with interest as if you took it from the first day. So those are conditions that are also there. So the only other cost will be your maintenance cost. Like I said, once you join, you will be paying a fee on a monthly basis. And there are franchise fee, there are desk fee, you know, that you'll be paying. If you have business, they are not something that should discourage anybody that has passion for it.
Thank you, sir.
So why did I say it will take 2 to 3 years to stabilize? Look at what I've just said. The exam, the best of it, let us assume that you work with, you are very smart, and in the first year, you are finished. When you finish the exam, you must join a brokerage within 6 months. Otherwise, that license lapses.
Wow.
You must join a brokerage within 6 months. Otherwise, the license lapses. So when you join a brokerage, and I give my example, and I think God has been very kind to me. I've had stories that are worse, and that's why I give the 2, 3. You may be smarter, so business don't come immediately because you need to build data. You need to build trust. people need to trust you. Some people, which doesn't really matter, they can say, oh, this one just qualify. I don't want to give my business to him. So they want you to have some, so for 1 year, some people for 2 years, they don't have more than one sale. So when I use the word stabilize, that's when you are now making money and at least you can pay your bills. It's not like, there's a lot of cost in the business, but in the second, third year, you should be stabilizing. So how much does a realtor make? Again, it depends on the contracts and the value of the property. So how much can one save to start? I think I've given an indication. There is no fixed amount. Again, it depends on you and the one that is fixed is the exam fee. The one that is fixed is the exam fee. So, okay.
David said.
Somebody said, you mentioned using the service of several realtors to shop for a house if the scope of realtor is limited. So I will say this, and I say this not just for me. For any trained realtor, they can meet your need. Let nobody tell you stories. Yes, there is the area of experience. There is the area of relationship. How can everybody manage it? But any property that is listed here, I can sell, and another realtor can sell. So the difference will come in how skillful can somebody negotiate? How skillful can somebody manage difficult situations? So those are the difference that will come there. And that's where referral makes a lot of difference. So go into a strategic relationship with a realtor and open to that individual what you're looking for. By the time you have 2, 3, 4 people working for you, it means you are just as disloyal as anybody can be to you. So if that realtor is not meeting your need, tell him what you want him to do. So somebody cannot just do emails. But if I set you up and you are receiving emails, it's you who have a responsibility to tell me and say, Mr. Fadipe, can we go check this house? So when I am not now able to meet your needs, it is becoming clear to you that no, maybe this is not the right person. And then you should open up and say no, so that somebody will not be, stressing himself and then you just suddenly move with somebody. What is even very interesting is that some people will move with other people that, you have taken them through a lot that they now understand how that thing works. And the person that comes will just gain. No stress. You just finish a transaction. So whether you're dealing with somebody, me or somebody, please trust that realtor. It is in his interest to make you happy. Because if you don't buy that property, he cannot make money. But don't allow anybody to compel you to buy something you don't want. And for couples, because this is an area of problem, the couples are speaking different languages. So when the three of you come together, none of them is bold enough to say, no, this is what we want. So the husband wants A, the wife wants B. Who suffer? It is the realtor who suffer. Because unless the two of you agree, there will be no deal. And he will not know. We just be running around and wanting to make two unwilling heads to agree together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I could see the latter part of that question, talking about, is there any legal issue? I think you mentioned it earlier that you actually...
So there is, let me plead with you, there is, in 2022 January, and a law came into effect. We call it Real Estate Services Agreements. Every realtor that will deal with you is compelled to sign that agreement, in fact, before he starts showing you any property. That is what the law says. And, that's where I said, so if you sign that with me, I already have you as my client. If within the tenure of that contract, you go somewhere else, if I want to follow through the law, I will allow you to buy anything you want to buy. I will allow you to move in. I will come back to you. The law will compel you and that agent that you use to pay me and say, well, this is my, because I'm not going to be the one to be driving it. All I need to do is to mention to my brokerage. So because my brokerage also is losing interest, is losing money, so they will be interested once they have that evidence. But like I said, it's not a full to say, oh, anybody can deal with me anyhow. But I just felt that, look, I am a retiree. I'm not here fighting for whatever. What will come to me will finally come. I sign most of those things because the law requires me. If I don't have it, I cannot process any documentation for you in the office. Even if you win an offer, it must be there. So, but the legal issue, please, when you sign with people who are not of our background, and some people within our background are very strict about it. When you sign, just weigh the option before you sign. Again, the law is not like a draconian law. When you want to get out of it, what is required is to still disclose and let the person know. So it's not trouble that, oh, you want to go out with somebody. And if within a period of you saying you are going out with him, if you go into a new relationship, he's still able to come back on you. I mean, if I sign a contract with you and just having been with you for 4, 6, 7, 8 months, and within 1 week you say you don't want, and you now just buy with somebody within 1 month, it's very clear that it's all the work that I have done, that you have done. So, but, you know, I don't want anybody to be scared with that. As far as our platform is concerned, I mean, Nigerians, we will not give anybody problem. Clearly, nobody will give you problem. I mean, for me, I'm not here for any litigation. I am not here. I'm going to be happy. If you say you don't want to do with me, no problem. Somebody else will come. But the law is there. I tell you, I don't want to mention countries. If you deal with some people and you sign those things and you want to mess them up, they're going to mess you up as well.
Thank you, sir. Let's go to the final question.
So somebody said immigration, how long? Honestly speaking, I don't want to put anybody under pressure. I bought houses for somebody that's just 10 months. I bought houses for somebody that is 12 months here, but it is a matter of your own ability. The requirement is just that you need to have good job that can give you income, that when you are repaying, you are not under stress. And there is, you know, rule of thumb, and don't quote me, just go home with it and be working on it. They look at gross income. Gross income is husband, wife, and children's salary. You know, children collect salary here. I hope you know.
Yeah.
The benefits, it's not just for mommy. It is part of the family income. So what they do is aggregate of that income. And I mean, rule of thumb, times 4.2 of that amount, you will be able to get a mortgage, provided the job is a full-time job. If it's not a full-time job, there are also conditions that the mortgage specialist will be able to tell you. So I think that's fine enough. If you have other questions, we can talk about it.
And the final question, sir.
Okay.
If the client has some liquidity, is it better to make money from buying and reselling at a marked up price than being a realtor dependent on sales from referral? Wow.
Okay, so let me say this. So, and you know, I'm still a young man, but the level that I know in Canada, I think the bulk of the money that anybody can make is from real estate. I think so. You know, I'm not into these other, what do you call it? Bitcoin, I don't know of those ones. But the ones that I know, it is real estate. So if you have liquid cash, what you can do, and when you say liquid cash, it must be good money. So you can do flipping. If you want to do flipping, work with a realtor. So what will the realtor do for you? You will share your expectations, your line of thoughts. Then it will set you up for properties that meet that expectation, so you can buy and then work on it, sell. Sometimes at the premium, If you can't sell immediately, get tenants in there. 2, 3, 4 years, I can assure you that property would have appreciated, and you can sell to make money. Look, somebody bought a house in 2013. He bought the house for 339, and all that he put into that month to that house was 20-something thousand, because that's just 5% of it. It's not up to, I don't think it's up to, it's just about 20,000 because closing and whatever. In the third year, he sold the same house for 120,000 higher. 120,000 higher. Meanwhile, he lives in that same house. So by the time they will deduct what the value is, you know, it would have been as much as 150. And then all that he needed to take out is government will take their tax when the tax season come, but you have that money with you. Somebody who wants to use that can also, use that money again to put it back in real estate. And the beauty of real estate, without selling, you can actually sweat cash out of the property. You are not selling your house. You are not selling. You have lived there for like 6-7 years. Because you have paid a little bit down on the amount, you can go to your bank and say, I want to refinance. You are living in the house, and they will give you at least 80% of the equity that your house has generated. You can put that money into another business. You can also, in fact, buy another house if you are interested, and you've saved some money between that 5 years. And that's why I can tell you for free, there are your town man, people you don't know here, who have double-digit house stock, even in Winnipeg. And I don't want to mention figure. I say double digits, meaning that it's more than 10. You don't see them show all those big man, whatever. That's how they just take equity from 2, use it to deposit, look for tenants, and then everybody is happy again. But
I think we're getting to the interesting part, because that realtor thing, I don't have the edge to read to do that. But this other one you're talking about, I think this is the real deal for me. That we could actually, I think it's another aspect of this business, aside from being a realtor.
No, it's a realtor. It's also, you see, the thing is that the law does not allow us to do it directly, because we will be working with privileged information. You understand? Yeah. But as a realtor, you want it, I can set you up for it. And then, my commission will only come when the house is finally sold to you. And when we try, we have a different platform. So I can do that not as a realtor, but as a business platform that I'm into real estate, so we do that one too. And people are making money from it. So again, you don't need to have all of the money. The beautiful thing, one of the best thing here is that there is credit system in place. The credit system is like, the Yoruba will say, as much as your head can take, if you have a good job, there's credit for you. And then you can use it to do all of these little things. But if you want to do flipping, I will be recommending for people who have a little hands-on knowledge, because the major cost here is labor costs. When you want to fix something, even if it is painting alone that you can do, it will save you some money. Because a painting that somebody says is 5,000 and you are able to do it on your own, just go to Home Depot, that's fine enough. So you must be ready to be able to fix a little plumbing work, doors and whatever. I will challenge somebody who wants to do very well to go to Red River, just do 1 year program there, and then you come back here, you will make all the money back.
Awesome. We're seeing a new question. Okay, somebody wants to know if the realtor does not meet up, for example, he doesn't have time to show you houses around, and you decide to move on.
No, you don't have any obligation to die with any realtor. So the law does not allow you to die with a realtor. So what you should do is to document your concern. And if you have enough evidence to show, I will encourage you, don't do most of this discussion on phone. Put it in writing. I would like to do so. If we miss up 2, 3, 4 times, I mean, the law is not like a decree. So it will be clear that nobody can compel you to suffer in silence. And you are able to send a note that you don't want to continue with this because of this. So be assured that you are not in a cage because you are dealing with a realtor. Once the realtor is doing well with you, you don't have problem.
Okay, sir.
So please, somebody wrote something here. Don't give realtors any cash. Don't give them because they have done you well. You want to give them money. It is very, very, in fact, if anybody is reported to have done that, he can lose his license. So you are not supposed to pay. The realtor cannot make you feel that because he's doing this. And the cost of running, everybody will bear the cost of running. I'm going there, I've given you a time, you will take your vehicle and find me there. I will take my vehicle and meet there. And everybody, after checking the house, you go on your ways again. If you like the house, then we can make an offer. If you don't like it, then look for another one on it. If you don't see so much, tell your realtor that this thing, I'm not seeing it. Because just a difference of 1,000 can make another person to be seeing some great houses while you are not seeing. For example, if you told me, and that's what I work on, you want a house of only not more than 350,000. Believe me, you will not see any house that is 350, 100 in the listing. It will not show to you. So if somebody now come and say, look at this house, my realtor is not showing me this house, you must know that is what you have done. If you tell him that you want a minimum of 3 bedrooms, the house will not give you, if it is only 2 bedrooms, it won't give you. If you insist that you want only houses from 2020, if there is a house that is far better and it's 1999, you are not going to see it. So every time you just trust your realtor, sometimes for people who are just coming on, I say, don't put too many restrictions. Let's open it up because it means you will see everything. So by the time you look at it a few times, you are now able to say, oh, can we restrict this? Can we restrict it? And then you go for it. And when you go for a house, please, you are not going to see 100% satisfaction. You may not see 100% satisfaction. Just make the best of choices. The wife may just like the kitchen. Maybe that doesn't make any meaning to the husband. It may just be, oh, this house has a loft. It may be the living room that is so wide that somebody like. Here you hear open concept. Open concept is not Nigerian, but this is what it's invoked today. So those are things that can make a lot of changes. So I will just encourage that when you are going as a couple, review your position together so that you don't stress yourself so much. You can get the first house to be the one that you need to buy. It's not like you must check 20 houses. If it meets your expectation, trust me, go for it.
Thank you, sir. But I think the question is asking, by the time the deal is sealed and the brokerage is paid, the company is paid, like how much comes to the realtor in terms of, I don't know how to put the number, how much do you gain from a $500,000?
I just mentioned it. There is no one figure. Okay, I will give you an example and I will give you different ranges. If a seller says what he wants to pay for the whole transaction, and it does happen, I don't want to pay more than 2.5%. So if he says he's not going to pay more than 2.5%, that 2.5% will be shared between the two brokerages, depending on what the listing agent wants. Another person can say, I'm ready to do 4%. Another person can be ready to do 5%, which is very rare. So you get mostly between 2.5 and 4%, and again, like I said, all the costs you are going to incur it. So if they split that money between the listing agent and the brokerage, it is from the listing agents, the brokerage, that the listing agent will get his own. Sometimes you may be 2 on it, you may be 3, you will share all those costs. So whatever costs you also incur, I mean, it's on your premise, because all the listing, it is the listing agent that would bear all those costs. Am I open enough?
Yes, sir.
So, like I said, the agreement you sign will determine what eventually comes to you.
Thank you, sir. So, generally now, what would you say? Like, would you say the business is very viable? Like, would you encourage us as Nigerians to go into the real estate business?
See,
both as a realtor or as buying and selling properties?
Yeah, I have very abundance mentality. And I will tell you that the more the merrier. If you have seen the challenges I've shared with you, honestly speaking, what is critical far above those challenges and even the profit we are looking at is your passion. If you don't have the passion for it, you are not going to make a great success out of it. If you have the passion for it, your passion will bring money to you. So at the end of the day, it's not a bad business for those who are ready to go through all those things. You are going to go through insults, you are going to go through embarrassment, at least before you build the goodwill. Because I can tell you there are some realtors today, they are not going to deal with any property less than 500. So, you know, you have grown to that level. So some people will not deal with anything less than 500,000. Some people will say they don't want to deal with new homes because, you know, the most problematic house to sell to anybody is new homes. The most problematic. I mean, we have realtors like that. But as you grow, you want to do everything. And then, you know, as you grow gradually, you're able to say, okay, this is the niche market I want to serve. Some people say they are not going to serve people who are not in paid employment. We have clients, I mean, we have realtors like that. Some people just make that decision because their experience have shown a lot of such challenges. Again, some people say, I won't deal with anybody that doesn't have a pre-approval. Because if you don't have a pre-approval, it means you can be struggling. And even when it becomes necessary to now close the deal, the bank is not ready to fund. So some people will say, look, give me the pre-approval before I start working with you. Why is selling new home problematic? Because new homes, a number of times, there will be disappointment from builders. It can be in terms of the time of delivery. Your client will still believe you are the problem. It can be in terms of, oh, when they were telling me, because it's not like you've seen the house, sometimes you are discussing with drawings. Oh, this is not where I think the door should be. So this is not where I thought this would be. There are problems there. Sometimes when they deliver the house, usually they don't complete the houses. They are not going to complete it. So it creates some disagreement with realtor because, let me tell you, builders do not like realtors to be involved. But they sell some dummy to some clients to suggest that you don't need a realtor, we can sell to you. And the reason is that when they run into issues, a realtor can guide the client very well. So there's nowhere they can hide. So if they sign with you that the house will be delivered in December, and the house is not delivered until March, until April, you probably will even be thinking that, oh, your realtor is not strong enough. That's why he cannot get it done. Believe me, everybody's interest is for early delivery. Because the other realtor there, if that house is not sold, you cannot get money. The builders, if the house is not sold, it's only the 5% you have. So, and he's spending his money. So he can't collect money from your bank until the house is sold. So it's, you know, and like I used to tell people, if you don't have the immediate funding, that's when I usually recommend new homes. Because new homes will take like 12 months, 14 months, and then you will use that period to build fund and build car. But if you have it, why do you want to wait? So for new homes. But again, if a client says he wants a new home, then that is the best that you will need to offer that individual.
Thank you so much, sir. I think you answered all the questions. And I think the final questions would be, what would be your advice to we as Nigerians in Canada?
Well, I would say maybe 2-3 words. Canada is a land of limitless opportunities. I don't want you to hear stories. You know, there are some stories they say Canada is a leveler. If you want to level yourself, then you will level yourself. If you are high like this, where you are coming from, come with that drive that you will be a professional. You will be a professional. Don't take just anything that everybody take, because they are still giving great jobs to Nigerians. Nigerians are directors in Manitoba government. Nigerians are directors in banks, including Royal Bank of Canada. And some of these people we know. So Nigerians are engineers, Nigerians are directors in supply chain. So I don't want anybody to have a fixed mindset of, okay, let me just start like this. Start like this is just like a starter job, but don't sleep on it. Because when you wait 1, 2, 3 years, there is that level of comfort that looks like, you know, go to pay your due. If it means you taking a new course, a new training, go for it. Don't wait. Don't wait. And that's what I would say. Don't limit yourself. And finally, please go for your passion. Don't work because your friend is doing very well in this profession. Don't work because you are hearing it that everybody is doing this. What is your passion? That's the passion that will bring money to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. We're so excited, and it has been an awesome session with you. We've been so inspired with your encouraging words and for all the insight you have given us into the real estate business in Canada. I'm very much interested in the aspect of buying and selling. And I know a lot of people are on here, they are interested in the realtor, and they've gotten a whole lot of information from this session. Thank you so much, Sapo, for your time. And thank you everyone for joining us.
I'm sending my phone number and contact, but you can show if you have it. I think Tolu has my detail too. You can show it. So,
yes,
but just in case there's any need, you know. If you are not dealing with me and you need any information, please be free to speak with me. If somebody has issue and you just want clarification, if he's dealing with a realtor, I will not take that job, but I can advise you how to go around it.
Yeah, so I'm going to be dropping his number. I'm dropping it now. So you can call him I call him Agbari. You see him everywhere for those of us that are in Winnipeg, you see him at every nook and cranny of the town. You see his billboard, and you can patronize him if you're interested in getting your real estate. Oh, sorry, your mortgage. Yeah. Also, if you need more advice, I think he can mentor. Is the president of professionals in Manitoba. And so you can actually reach out to him also. I'm dropping the number now. Yeah, I didn't write it very well. Let me type again. So you can reach out. Thank you everyone for making our time this evening to join us in this session. We really appreciate your presence, and we hope, I want 1 or 2 people to give us feedback. What do you think of this session? Have you gained anything? You can unmute yourself and give us a feedback so that we can be encouraged to do the next one.
Yes. The man that asked the most of the questions. Good evening. Well, sorry, I'm in Nigeria, so this is 1 a.m. here. Thanks very much, sir, for the excellent session. Yeah, I think you touched on 2 major areas that I find very interesting. The issue of managing legal arrangements with realtors and how to make business and money off buying and selling of homes with a little bit of liquidity. I think that's really the part that caught my interest the most. You know, But I want to talk a little bit about this realtor, and before I just wrap up and say thanks, I'm really struggling. I have a dilemma how to let a realtor go, someone that has worked, checked, but we didn't sign any document, we didn't sign any contracts, nothing, how do you just explain to the person that, you have changed your priorities, you no longer have money, other life issues have come up, and, you don't need the service anymore? How do you pass that kind of message and still be professional about it? But in any case, thank you very much, sir. Sincere appreciation. And thank you, madam, for setting up this session. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Do we have any other person that wants to? Oh, yeah, please, Abiola.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Mr. Rotimi. Really appreciate this opportunity, and thanks, Madam Tulu, for putting this together. My question to Mr. Rotimi is around the decision to either buy a condo or buy a full house, especially for newcomers who might not be able to afford a full house. But at the same time, what do you think about condo, particularly with the condo fees rising almost like year in, year out? And in terms of appreciation, and just in case one now has money in the future, putting it to the market, would this really make a sense in terms of potential capital appreciation, especially for someone who might be thinking of putting it into the market in the future, or maybe doing this as an investment? Just need your guidance on this. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I'm happy you raised that question. I faced this question many, many times. And one of the cautions that I like to give is what I said before. Some of the many advisors that we get when we're buying houses, they do not have experience. They have not done it before. It's a matter of, I hear this, I hear that. Let it be clear to you, for those who want to list, who want to know, my first property here is a townhouse. It's a townhouse, and I can tell you for free that under 3 years, that townhouse had increased in value by over 100,000. And I'm not just talking figures. I bought another townhouse in the same area for a friend, and that was the best that we could get. Now, people talk about condo fee. Yes, the condo fee is it's not just a cost. They don't mention the benefits therein. And I always tell people, when you are starting fresh and it is a townhouse that you can buy, please go for it. When you are waiting for when that money for single house will come, market had moved again. So how does it work? A 3-bedroom condo today, a 3-bedroom townhouse with condo fee is about 350 to 400,000. I mean, good location, you are going to be happy with it. You have garage, there's nothing wrong there. Now, the same building that is not a townhouse, the same building, the same facility, the same size of the house, if it is not a townhouse, we go for at least 450. At least 450. So what am I trying to say? When you ask me to set you up, and this is what I've shared with people, if I shared a single house of 400 for you, and I also put a townhouse of 400, at every point, you are not likely to like the single house of 400 if you are seeing that townhouse. So what does this townhouse, condo fee means? 250 per month, 300 per month. Let's say 300 per month. That's 3,600. So if somebody bought a house of 450 and you bought your own, let's even say 400, you bought it, and there is a 50,000 difference. The 3,600 you are paying every month, it will take at least 12 years before you even pay as much as that individual. Now, hear me. I'm not saying it's not a cost, but what does the 300 entails? Sometimes it entails the cost of water in some places. Sometimes it entails, usually it will entail the cost of snow clearing. Most time it will also entail the cost of gathering. There is bush now, you want to cut it. There is maintenance part of it. So if you go back to where we are coming from and you say, oh, I'm living in an estate, and somebody that's not living in an estate. So you look at the difference. So there is some convenience, that this one brings to you too. Anything outside the house, anything, when I use the word anything, I mean, including the roof in a townhouse, if it is removed, it is covered by the condo fee. So you are part of those people managing that money that you are paying. It's not managed by anybody. The condo board is made up of the owners of those estates there. So you want to contest, you can contest to be the chairman, to be whatever. So you want to be a part of it. It's like you are doing landlord-tenant association there. There's an opportunity for you to get involved even in the management. So that's part of the 300. Again, the insurance that everybody will make. You will have an insurance if you buy a house, like you buy a car. So when you are buying a townhouse, what are you going to pay insurance for? Because the house is also insured under the condo fee. God forbid, if that house is burnt, the whole building is burnt, is already covered by part of the condo fee. So they will replace that house. What you will only pay insurance for is the content of that house. So, oh, I bought furniture. I have it there. Oh, my mattress. Maybe I want to insure in case I have trinkets, all of those things. That's what you are paying insurance on. So again, there will be some savings in insurance. There will be some savings in insurance. So at the end of the day, there is a cost that you will pay. But a part of it, you are buying convenience. So I told somebody, and that was the deal breaker for him to make that decision. And I said, you are today, this is your profession. What is your hourly pay? And I look in 2021, for those who are here, that snow that year was enough for many people to run back to Nigeria. That snow was enough to send people home. So if you stay in a place where before you wake up, they have cleared the snow, you will not appreciate it during summer. You won't appreciate it when there is no snow. It's when there is snow that you appreciate it. So if you take 3,006 for a year to gain that convenience and buy a bigger house, it's not necessarily bad. Again, the matter of whether the value will come, let me tell you, Canada has passed that level where they say one house is not selling. I am telling you today, there is shortage of housing. There is shortage, and there is no time we will get back to those periods that houses will stay in the market for 1 year, unless the house is not good. Even at that, if the price is right, somebody will buy and say, let me flip and just upgrade it. So the man who asked the question, I want you to have an open mind, take a decision on your own, go visit a house that is a townhouse, visit another house of the same value that is not a townhouse. Between the two of you, I know that you will have the best interest of yourself in mind, so you will make a decision, but don't close your mind to possibilities. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. And we have Jide. Wow, are we going to close this meeting? Jide, can you be very brief?
Yes, I will be very brief. Thank you very much. Yes, I actually want to thank you for this opportunity given to us. I would say that for me, I think my idea is meeting opportunity at this particular moment. Why do I say that? Before I came into Canada just not up to 2 months ago. Before I left Nigeria, I had actually made up my mind that I want to go into real estate. To the extent that I've already registered a company, started running it bit by bit until when the opportunity came for this PR to come to Canada. And when we got here, when we went through the Manitoba start, my long-term goal is to be a realtor. So that's why I'm happy to be a part of this meeting. And since Realtor Rotimi has told us the opportunity, and apart from that, what it entails to be a realtor, I think I am poised and I'm ready to go. And since he has said that he's open to us for any questions, I believe that this opportunity is meeting my own idea. That's why I said I must speak. And I must thank you, the moderator, for bringing out this particular program.
Thank you so much, Jide, for that feedback. And I think it's a wrap. Let's call it a day. It's 7:35. We actually, yeah, so I've dropped his contacts on the platform. His number is there. You can come. You can copy it. Then also you can join the business group. Canada Niger Business Hub is a platform where we share information about business amongst ourselves, and we have chats like this where we bring business people to give us insights into certain business that we're interested in. So if you're not part of that platform, you can join. I've dropped the link, the Telegram link. Telegram is that platform is not very busy because we just drop information and sometimes ask questions. So you can join us. It's not a very chatty one, but if you want to make it chatty, you're all welcome. So join the platform. We're going to be sharing information. We're going to share his contact for that on that platform also. And I want to say thank you once again for making our time to be with us this evening. It's been an awesome moment sharing these ideas and insights with you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for the privilege.
Yeah, we are so excited. We've been inspired, and you've even motivated us that we should not settle for less in this land. And we are so glad for that. I think you're a shining example, worthy of emulation. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening. Have a wonderful week ahead. And it's a bye for now. Thank you. My name is Tolu Lokwe Adebayo. You can call me T for Tolu. Thank you. And my way of introduction, I'm a brand consultant at Brand Palo. So you can reach out to me also for your branding. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And have a good evening. Yeah, bye. I'll be closing the meeting now.